Did you know you can build and sell small SaaS tools without coding? And today, I'll show you how I used Replit and N8N to create an invoice generator. And you can start charging businesses for it today as well. This is the kind of small SaaS you can package for your business and sell it to local businesses. Think freelancers or agencies or accountants. They don't really care how it works, they just want to save time, automate a task. So if you look here, we've got a Replit front end, which is basically, it was vibe coded. And essentially what vibe code is when you've got an agent or you use artificial intelligence tools like ChatGPT or Replit agents to actually generate working softwares, web applications, and so on and on and on. And in this example, I've used Replit and ChatGPT to generate this front end UI that is literally very simple, very minimalistic, and it has basically the feeling to it of professionalism and a bit of an Apple style, if that makes sense. So essentially, when me as a business, I complete details, I fill in information about my client or about anything personal, any personal information related to that client. I can therefore complete the invoice generator questions, which after a couple of steps, they will go into N8N. They will be sent through a webhook, onto a webhook that is located in N8N, which essentially then will edit and filter what data I need to work with to then go into smart pricing, which you can see on the last picture on the right. This will go into smart pricing and it will then get the data from outside sources using a learning model or ChatGPT model, OpenAI model in N8N, and it will then push that data onto our stage 3. So if we go down to our Replit, you make an account, you start creating software or an application, and etc. So in Replit, what you can do is you can basically feed it screenshots of styles that you'd like to follow. What I essentially done, I went into ChatGPT, I picked a style, I've explained it to ChatGPT, and I've asked it to generate 4 UI UX designs for this invoice generator, because as you can see, essentially we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on here. And then using them pictures, I copy and pasted them into our Replit agent, and I kind of vibe coded it with the Replit agent, and essentially that's what we get, a live UX front end, which will then take the data that we fill in and we'll pass it onto our N8N automation using JSON format. So start listening for JSON. So we can use a name, an email address, phone number, and we can select business sector. So say we wanna, our client is working in finance. Yep. So essentially this is just the first step. We complete this and then we go into describing service. This whole thing was logically made by me, which I just inputted necessary related aspects and metrics to what I think would be good in invoice generator. So it's not going to be preset every time like this. You can go on into Replit and actually set the necessary metrics and information that you think is relevant and would be good for invoice generators. And we can say that this service's website. You can think about estimated hours spent on executing this task. So say if it's above 200 hours, we can put 256. We will be charging British pounds. On hourly rate, we charge £17 an hour. Then we could go into maintaining cost. So say if you're trying to sell them a website or you're trying to sell them a automation or any type of services that you provide, they will need to maintain it. And by maintaining it, I mean host it or service it. And sometimes you can have it being your responsibility or my responsibility, or you can have it being client's responsibility. For this specific example, I'd say let's do it as a client responsibility, and annually it will cost them £300 to maintain it. The project will commit on 22nd, and it will have to be finished by 13th, say, of October. For any additional attachments, we can drop and drag it onto here, or we don't really need anything in this situation, if I'm being honest. So essentially, this is now analyzing the market data. It comes back with a confidential price for you to proceed with the client. But something I'd like to say, this is a random numbers, essentially like a random numbers generated, because what I've done, I've not had time to connect it to N8N because I was just doing it for an example. So I wasn't really trying to make the best looking invoice generator. I mean, not the best looking invoice generator, but the best logical invoice generator. So the metrics that it came back with is nothing but random numbers taken into consideration. So what I've also added on here is market benchmark, which is these three things. How they work is, say you've got a webhook connected to your Replit, and one of the webhooks has an automation that would then take one of these three, two of these three, or three of three informational fields, and will push it as a JSON file onto the webhook, which therefore would be connected to an AI agent, and that specific AI agent would then go take the information related to each sector and will come back with relevant answers dependent on what you've put in these fields. So we'll keep it blank for now. On top of that, if you think that the information that you want AI agent to research is not relevant to these three fields, we can rerun the search, explaining why we want to rerun the search and what type of topics or what type of things the AI agent should be looking for, then coming back with the analyzed price suggested. So as you can see on here, the confidence bar can be different if we overcharge our customer for something that shouldn't be too expensive or shouldn't be too low. The confidence will go down, and it will be very likely that you would not succeed in this offer. Same goes if we gonna charge them too little. People would think that if you're charging too little, that you're not too confident in what you're doing, or you're not too confident with the service that you provide. Therefore, you want a decent or a relevant price for what you do. After this stage, we will go into price exception. It's where we need to listen on our N8N side, but don't forget, if we got this in active workflow, we will be using a production URL, which is essentially 24/7 working URL, and it will listen to events coming in for 24/7. So we'll go back on here, we'll accept the price, which will then push all the relevant information into our N8N automation. And then coming back from webhook, it will go into edit fields, which essentially will work in a way where I take the relevant data from the left side, put it in our fields, sort it in our fields, and I push it onto the right side onto the output with something that is relevant to what I think is would be useful for, say, our agents, or our email automation, our reach out automation, even Google Sheet completion. That would be also quite relevant. So essentially, this is where after these two nodes are completed, we will go in and say we can add an agent who would then use OpenAI source to then, it will take that data, and how on the way you prompt it, it will then come back with relevant information regarding your invoice generator or anything that you would build on your side. On top of that, we can download a PDF, which is going to be an invoice that you can directly send to the customer. I was also thinking you can potentially generate a QR code that would then autofill, or a link that would then autofill your business details on their bank, so it can be a quite easy, straight way forward of completing payment, or even a link to your website that you could charge people on for your services. We also have got a, say, smart invoice sorted. So for example, because we have a client in financial sector, we'll have FIN, which stands for finance, and the number of an invoice that was generated specifically for that sector. But we can also have something like this. So it's not very specific. I mean, it is very specific, but you can adapt it to your own needs, essentially. On the left is like a little preview of what it is, and then this is a small system as a service type of ones, where you can go out to local businesses and you can literally explain to them this whole system. You either send them onto your website where you can have this priced at what you want it to be, or you can directly contact people on LinkedIn, Facebook, and etc., or going through Google Maps, seeing what relevant businesses would actually find this useful, like agencies or actual private limited companies, and then speak to them, arrange meetings, have a showcase of what you can offer them or what they actually need. Think about the things that they actually need. Think about the things that can actually automate. Because when people look at the N8N itself and automation, it's a bit complicated. They really want to learn it. But if you come back to them saying that you can make this very nice looking designed software for them, which will execute the problem of tedious tasks that take ages and come back with a solution that looks nice and will actually work by pressing 4 or 5 things and completing 4 or 5 fields, this is a game changer. And for them, time is money. And if you can, if you can take away the problem of having too much time spent on something irrelevant, therefore they would generally spend money on that rather than paying people to not doing their job properly and spending time on something that is not relevant to making a profit and making a revenue in their business. And essentially try it out yourself, which is Replit is about $25 and N8N is about 24, 28. So if you just spend, and I think there's also a free couple of days trial for both platforms. Well, I know there's one for N8N, but I'm not sure about Replit. You can spend $50 dollars of your money, invest it into 2 softwares to either learn them in the first month, or if you know how to use them already, to go out there and actually start communicating with people, building your own brand or your own business, and showcasing, networking with people, and showcasing that you are a freelancer or a professional who can provide solutions that look quite good for tedious tasks that businesses don't like but need to complete. And remember that these softwares, these AI agents, automations, and etc., they're not here to replace people. They're here to help people complete their job better and come out with better results, rather than people thinking that we're gonna push everyone out of the business and replace them with machines. No, that's not what I'm trying to explain to people here. But try it yourself. Honestly, you'll see a bigger difference in how businesses operate. On top of that, I've also got my own little school community, which I started a couple of weeks ago. Right now, it's a $5 a month charge for my school community. I'm just trying to promote this and maybe make some potential revenue out of this to then reinvest into this channel and grow the audience and grow the services and etc. Help people understand what N8N is, what automation is, what AI is, what website creation is, and much more. So if you think that my time spent on this video was good enough and you've actually learned something, so please maybe try and give it a go on my school community. I would be very happy if you did. Thank you. So okay, I say if you liked the video, please drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel. And if you think that you want a tutorial about how to start with Replit, how to connect Replit to our webhook and N8N, how to go from step 1 to step 250 and complete the whole thing, comment or push this video somewhere, share this video, and I'll actually come back with a proper tutorial, maybe like a 1-2 hour tutorial or 40-minute tutorial. I don't know how long that would take, but if you want to learn this, please tell me in the comments, reach out to me. I'll be very happy. And thank you for watching, I guess. Have a good day. Enjoy your life.